Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Carnage Reviews. My name is Eric. I hope you had a good Thanksgiving if you celebrate the holiday. Now that the turkey's behind us, it's time for that joyful time of year where we put up our Christmas tree and then punch people out in the stores to get that last doll that little Sally must have for Christmas. I asked myself, I said, Self, what would be a good movie I could review and talk about this holiday season? There's the obvious ones, of course, such as Black Christmas, Silent Night, Deadly Night, and Jack Frost, but those are too predictable. I decided on a movie with balls. Lots and lots of balls. In fact, a whole film series filled with balls. And no, I'm not talking about those pornos that are underneath your mom's bed. I, of course, am talking about Don Coscarelli's Phantasm. So how is Phantasm a Christmas movie, you may be asking? How is it not? It's about family and staying by their side through thick and thin, and it's got flying spears that fly around and drill holes into people's heads. If that does not embody the spirit of Christmas, I don't know what does. For the entire month of December, I will be reviewing every Phantasm movie in the series, and then afterwards I'll do a video that'll rank each movie in the series from favorite to least favorite. Now, before we go balls deep, oh, I love my jokes, just a quick reminder to please consider subscribing to the channel. Just click that subscribe button, along with the bell icon to be notified when I upload new content. Phantasm was written and directed by Don Coscarelli. It stars Michael Baldwin, Bill Thornberry, Reggie Bannister, Kathy Lester, and Angus Scrimm. Phantasm tells the tale of two brothers, Mike and Jody, along with their best friend Reggie. They discover something very strange is happening in their little town. A very tall man has taken over their town's mortuary, turning the dead into dwarves and making them his slaves. Realizing the tall man has not only taken their best friend Tommy, who recently passed, but may have also taken their family, they work together to try and stop the tall man from his devious plot. Oh, and there's also flying spears roaming around that'll drill a hole into your head. With a movie like Phantasm, like the rest of the films in the series, you either love or hate them. Phantasm has a very passionate fan base that really care about the series. I happen to be one of them. What I love the most about the first Phantasm film is just how well it sets everything up for what's to come. Now, I know that when Don Coscarelli was making Phantasm, he probably had no intention of making a sequel, and he probably never even imagined that it would become a series so beloved. But it's just cool. The little things are just really cool, and I know they've always been there, but after rewatching this film, I've seen it countless times. I'm just starting to really see how well everything fits together and how stuff comes back in the other films later in the series. For example, when we see Mike walk down the street, we see him encounter the tall man, and as the tall man's looking at him, Reggie is in front of him, at his truck, opening it up, his ice cream truck, and the cold from the truck bothers the tall man, or it seems to bother the tall man anyways. And what's interesting about that scene is it's never brought up again until the third film. And the third film, I think there's like a 15-year time gap between the first film and the third film. So I just think it's very interesting how they waited that long to bring that back up. Whether that was intentional or not, probably not, it's still pretty cool, pun intended. Another example would be when we see Jody and Reggie play guitar together. They're playing that classic song that becomes a staple in the series.
You see, my lady left me lonely. Yes, she did. Baby left me blue.
We see Reggie pull out his guitar tuner, which foreshadows him being able to stop the portals, or control the portals, however you want to look at it. This comes up quite often in later films in the series. Phantasm does a really good job with its characters. Jody, Mike, and Reggie have this very close bond, and they have really good chemistry on screen. And this is a bond that grows deeper and deeper with each film.
What about Mom and Dad? They're up there too.
Yeah, just forget about that.
Now, is the film perfect? No, not at all. The effects can come off kind of subpar or hokey, especially the scene with the severed finger that turns into an insect or some kind of flying insect of some sort. And then, of course, the explanation that the characters come up with for why the tall man is doing what he's doing is, well, kind of sudden. But I guess, for Phantasm it works. One of my absolute favorite moments in Phantasm is when Mike is sleeping in bed and he just suddenly wakes up in a cemetery with the tall man hovering over him, and then all of a sudden these corpses rise up from their grave and grab him. It's just a very well lit shot and it looks so creepy and good. One scene I've been really thinking about lately is the bar scene. So Jody goes to this tavern, and there's this very 70s music playing in the background. And at one point, you hear a little bit of the Phantasm theme song within this 70s song. And I always kind of laughed at it, thinking, why would they do that? But then I realized, if the movie really is like a dream, so, minor spoiler alert there, but if the movie really is like a dream, I guess it would kind of make sense why they would incorporate that into that song, because maybe it's like a subliminal hint that this is a dream, and it's just kind of hinting, telling us that subconsciously that everything's a dream here, and that's why that song is playing. Of course, I could just be 100% pulling this out of my ass, which more than likely I probably am. But that's what's great about Phantasm, because in Phantasm, nothing is spelled out for you. Everything's open to interpretation. Because in Phantasm, nothing is as it seems. And I forgot how funny the first Phantasm can be, too. Yes, the Phantasm film series has always mixed a little bit of comedy into the horror. I would say it's similar in tone to maybe like Evil Dead, perhaps, but not as slapsticky.
No, it was little and brown and low to the ground.
It's probably just a gopher in heat.
Fucking foot, man.
Oh, damn, look, I know you're not gonna believe this, but these things were here, right in the garage, and they were gonna get me.
Oh, give me a break, would ya?
They were jumping on the car and making these weird sounds.
Sure wasn't that retarded kid Timmy up the street?
The music in Phantasm is just so iconic, and it just fits so well in the movie that no matter how many times I hear it, whenever I hear the main theme song, I just get chills. I can't help it.
You play a good game, boy, but the game is finished. Now you die.
As I mentioned before, the effects in the film can come off as cheesy, but honestly, I don't feel like it ruins the movie. In fact, if anything, I think it adds to the charm of the movie. If you haven't seen Phantasm, should you? Yes, I highly recommend you. If you have not seen Phantasm, you should definitely check it out. In fact, if you like it, you should check out the entire series after that. Now, with that said, as I mentioned, Phantasm is very dreamlike, and the other films are like that too. Some people don't like that. Some people like to have everything explained to them and have everything just spelled out. Phantasm isn't like that at all. So if you don't like that type of film, you probably won't like Phantasm. But if you're looking for something a bit different, I highly recommend you check it out. I feel like Phantasm is just as important to the genre as any of the other more popular series out there, like Halloween or Texas Chainsaw Massacre, etc. With all that said, I give Phantasm 5 skulls. Thanks for checking out today's video, guys. If you enjoyed it, please tap that like button. And if you have not done so already, please consider subscribing to the channel. Tune in next time when I review Phantasm 2. It's going to be one bloody Christmas. Boy.